As I have stated throughout my revelation of the Word, the decisions concerning issues and even the words used as the basis for belief are the product of man. All these religions, purportedly followers of the teachings of Jesus Christ, have developed their own tenets on issues and many more. People have been known to leave their church over personal disagreement over this issue. This, in fact, is why so many religious sects of the same belief have occurred and continue to occur. With the great number of issues and personal interpretations people have concerning spiritual matters, it is no wonder that there have been so many splinters from the original bark. Even on this one issue of abortion, there are groups within churches choosing not to abandon their church but to reform it from within. For the most part, abortion is viewed as wrong. This is my intended way. Good will always defeat evil. Still, Christian churches and organizations remain openly pro-choice, including the United Methodist Church, the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Episcopal Church in the United States of America, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, and the American Friends Quaker Service Committee, to name but a very few. Followers of the Islamic teachings of Muhammad are strong believers in the sanctity of human life, and as such would reject vehemently the act of abortion. Islam does not consent to abortion and considers it an act of killing an innocent person. Like other religions that are strongly pro-life, abortion may be permitted only if the mother's health is in jeopardy, and this conclusion is properly rendered by a responsible physician. Under ordinary health conditions, and above all, when the fetus is developed enough to be considered a live body, abortion is the equivalent of murder and not permitted. Abortion, or even the avoidance of conception for fear of economic hardship, is not permitted, for it displays a lack of faith in Allah as the sustainer of all life. Said Isa, the son of Maryam, O Allah our Lord, send us from heaven a table set with viands, that there may be for us, for the first and the last of us, a solemn festival and a sign from thee, and provide for us sustenance, for thou art the best sustainer of our needs. From the Noble Quran, 5114. Seeking an abortion for selfish reasons is inhumane and malicious. Muslims believe that even conception through rape or extramarital affairs are not reasons for abortion, for it is the innocent unborn child that will be denied life, and this is unjust. One or the other parent, or even the state, must be responsible to care for unwanted children or the children of illegal births. There is no distinct Buddhist stance on abortion. Most Western and Japanese Buddhists accept the permissibility of abortion, and other Buddhists believe abortion to be murder. Buddhists deem that initiating the death of another, in whatever form it takes, is morally wrong. Traditional Buddhism rejects abortion since it requires the deliberate discarding of a life. For Buddhists, conception is the beginning of life. The new being retains the karmic identity of a recently deceased individual and warrants the same respect as the fetus as the former adult. Modern Buddhists are more divided on this issue. The Buddha taught that the essence killed must be a living being, and that the killer must know it is a living being. You must intend to kill and perform the act resulting in death. If one accepts that a being exists at conception, then intentionally and successfully aborting the life satisfies all the conditions for what the Buddha taught as killing. Hinduism is a total culture believing in the unity of all creation. Hindus, like Buddhists, see mankind as a fundamental part of the universe that includes all living creatures. All life is revered, not just human life, as part of the Supreme Being. For Hindus, abortion is violence, and the practice of nonviolence is connected to the belief in reincarnation. The karma in one's present life determines whether one enjoys a higher or suffers a lower existence in the next reincarnation. All souls are evolving and advancing toward unity with God. Hinduism teaches that abortion, along with other acts of violence, checks the progress of the soul. From the earliest times, Hindu scriptures and tradition have denounced the practice of abortion except to save the mother's life. The fetus is considered to be a person deserving of protection. Hindus are clearly pro-life based on their deeply held beliefs that the life reincarnated suffers at the hands of abortion. Debates concerning the moral or legal aspects of abortion ultimately return to the question of where does life begin. If you take the position that since cells dividing repeatedly to develop into the heart or lungs or hair or whatever human organ it is to become cannot live outside the womb of the mother, therefore it is not a living entity, you delude yourself. If you argue that an immature fetus cannot live outside the protection of the mother's uterus, you present irrationality as proof. For in truth, no human child can survive outside the mother's womb, even after months of actual living, without the sustenance and nurturing of a parent or some surrogate. Do you avoid killing this unwanted child because it is at a far more advanced stage of development than the rudimentary beginnings of life? This notion is absurd. Let me state clearly, and without ambiguity, that life begins with the viable union of the masculine and feminine cells of life. This is my way. I am not now establishing alliance with those righteous defenders of life, nor am I reproving those who choose to abort. As creator of all life in the universe, I did not visualize the beauty of conception only to be extinguished. Your great island country of Japan today adheres to the sound principle of separation of church and state. In truth, when the issue disputed is abortion, it matters little whether the state establishes a policy or the religion establishes policy, since all policies are made by men with varying viewpoints bolstered by their experience. The more traditional or theocratic states will also tend to denounce the practice of abortion. Japan is invested in the tradition of Shinto religion. One of the reasons abortion is now accepted by the Japanese without difficulty is because the Shinto religion defines life as starting at birth. In this country, with a very liberal position on abortion, women decide whether to bear life or not. The rancorous court battles and the prolonged decisions resulting in late-term abortion are very few. It would only make sense for a woman wanting to end her pregnancy to do so as early as possible for obvious reasons. The Shinto idea of life beginning at birth makes abortion less dissolute. The final word on abortion. I will put this question of abortion to rest. I include it in my revelations of the word only because it is a most significant component for the sustenance of life on my beautiful earth. I will reiterate here that your decision to terminate life will affect your entire existence and in reality have no impact on me as creator. Life in my universe is abundant. Life in your personal sphere, however, is precious. As parents of young offspring, I admonish you to raise your children with righteousness in a moral environment. Do not send the message of intolerance to them, creating fear in their hearts and preventing them from seeking your support should they falter in their ways. This will and has resulted in their individual torment and your loss of posterity. A means will always be found. Life is always my way.